Shut up and sit down.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Rebel Trading Group Podcast, episode 62. What is up? It is February 11th, 2019. It's Monday morning, my dudes. What's up? My name is Nathan Oliphant, and with me, as always, is the gluten-free Jason Bessing.
The gluten-free Jason Bessing. What's up? What's up, Nathan? Long time no chit-chat.
Yeah, man. It's been a while.
It has been a while. But it's okay. We're busy guys. Busy guys.
Working a lot.
What's going on in the market right now? Last I checked, we were sliding. I didn't actually have numbers. I was just kind of looking at
we broke a 6-week streak thoh. We
of
had like a month of gain. Yeah.
Yeah, January.
The whole month of January was like great.
Oh yeah, it was phenomenal. I was able to do triple what the S&P did. The S&P rallied back about 6% at one point, and I was up about 19%.
Let's go.
So, yeah, it feels good, especially after that painful December. But you know what I did, Nathan? I bought the dip.
What'd you do?
I stuck with it. I saw, like, oh, man, this is getting painful. Like, on some of my favorite holdings, like Collector's Universe, dude, it was getting slaughtered. And I was like, this is painful. What am I doing? I feel like I'm shooting my kneecaps out.
Collector's Universe is paying a dividend, or their ex-dividend is at the end of the week.
Yeah, dude, it got down to the 1030s, and it's at almost 15 now. So
somebody's asking me. They're holding Collector's Universe right now, and they're asking if they should sell it because they bought it in like the 10s and 11s and 12s, and they've made like a profit. And they're asking me, should I sell it before the dividend? And personally, I say I would buy more before the dividend.
Yeah, at this, I think anything under 20 with this company, I think it's a seriously undervalued company. They actually just sent out an alert to all their clients that they apologized for slowdown in being able to and a slowdown in turnaround. Basically, people send in the products to get graded, the cards, trading cards, collectibles, souvenirs, autographs, whatever. And they have such a high demand that they can't keep up with it. So they're apologizing for the slow in business.
So they're getting more business.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're growing rapidly. They're growing internationally. They're growing domestically. The kneeling in the football that happened a couple years ago, that brought a huge bounce to the baseball card market because people got more into baseball apparently. I don't know who those people are. I didn't hear about it, but that's what, quote unquote, they say. So it brought a spike into the collectibles. So interesting little stock, but here's the thing though. It's only $100 million market cap. Most companies can't invest in it. They'd end up just buying the company. Warren Buffett would never enter a company that's $100 million because that would be like the price of one of his trades. You know? So there's not a lot of Wall Street influence there. So it's a weird stock, but I don't know. It's a weird one to play, you know?
So what's the market doing right now, man?
Oh, yeah. I was working on that. Well, let me just go ahead and pull up the DIA. We're down 0.06, okay? We slid from where we opened. Yeah, 0.06.
So it's like zero.
Yeah, it's like nothing. I think 16 points is what that is. Not much at all. We're sliding down from the open. That was that decline sell-off I was seeing. Like we opened at 252, and we're at like 251.48. So not crazy, nothing happening. But yeah, chart is downtrending. Same with the S&P. Also sliding down just a little bit from the open, but gold popping up. I've seen a lot more green than red out there, so it seems to be a pretty decent day.
What about Bitcoin? What's Bitcoin doing?
Oh, man. Bitcoin.
Tell me about the cryptos.
Currently sitting at 3,595. We had a pop in cryptos the other day. Surprisingly, Bitcoin.
Let's go, Litecoin.
It only popped up like, $130 or something like that, but that's enough for like a 5% move on her. So currently sitting at about the 3,600 mark. Litecoin and all the other altcoins much better and popped like 25% in a single session. To be honest,
isn't that great? No
idea why. Don't know if there was any news behind it. There doesn't need to be news behind it. Sometimes there isn't. Sometimes maybe someone just bought a shitload. I don't know. But yeah, that was That was a nice, surprising breakout. It was also on a much higher volume. So, even though cryptos seem to be getting pushed to the side, especially in the news, they're still relevant. That's for fucking sure.
Yeah.
So, Nathan, I created a little
boy.
quiz here, and I don't know why I thought of it. I thought it would just be something fun.
I'm ready.
So sometimes you like want maybe there's companies you can't invest in directly, but there's ways to do it through the back door, and that would be through something like a parent company. So what I have here is I have 10 brands, and then I want you to give me the publicly traded company that owns this brand.
I'm going to do my very best.
I've got faith in you. It's not too hard. There's a couple in here that might be tricky, but I've got faith in you for the most part. You ready?
I'm ready for it.
All right, here we go. Who owns Dairy Queen?
Ooh, Berkshire Hathaway. That one's easy.
Okay. Who owns Time Warner?
Wait. Time Warner. I have no idea.
Oh, that's AT&T.
See, that's what I was gonna say. I was going with one of the telecoms.
Go with the gut. Go with the gut.
I know it.
All right.
I'm good.
How about ESPN?
Disney.
Very good. Tricky one. Holland America Cruise Lines.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be obvious, right? It's gotta be like Carnival Cruise Lines or something.
Very good, Carnival.
Yes.
Carnival is the biggest brand out there. They have like 9 other cruise lines underneath them.
Yeah. What other cruise lines have stocks?
Norwegian and Royal all have them.
Say Royal Caribbean.
But they all have other brands, like Princess is under Royal, Celebrity is under Royal.
Nice.
Anyway, pushing forward. Viagra.
Pfizer.
Ooh. Olive Garden.
Darden.
How about Doritos?
Pepsi?
Ooh, look at you. Doritos owned by Frito-Lay, owned by Pepsi. How about KFC? Good call.
Yum.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, owned by Yum Brands.
Yum Brands.
What about Bath and Body Works?
I don't know.
You familiar with the store?
Yes.
Care to venture a guess?
Does L Brands sound too wide?
L Brands is correct.
Oh, let's go.
All right, I think you should be able to dust off these last two. Number 9. What about who owns Twitch?
Amazon.
Yeah, the number one. Would you say that Twitch is the premier online streaming service for video gaming?
Yeah, there are like upcoming like competitors. Like they have Caffeine coming up as well.
I've heard of Caffeine. Isn't there another one that's like Steam Engine or something like that? Or
they have the ones in like for the longest times, the players in Korea could not stream on Twitch. They were exclusive to a certain streaming platform. Yeah, and that like opened up recently.
All right, last one. Skype. Who owns Skype?
Microsoft.
Very good. You got all but one of those. There was one.
Let's go.
And you technically knew it at the same time. So
I had it.
I'm gonna give you a 95. I'm gonna give you a 9.5 out of 10.
I'll take it. Thank you.
Very good. I don't know why. I just thought that was fun, but yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling when you think of the companies out there that own other companies. It's mind-boggling about how much money is actually out there.
Berkshire Hathaway also owns Geico.
Oh man, they own disgusting amounts of everything. Yeah, but I think Geico is wholly owned by Berkshire, just like Dairy
Queen.
Dairy Queen, yeah. But they also are partial owners of a lot of many publicly traded companies.
Yeah. feel like because he buys shares of companies.
So today, I kind of have a question that's kind of been burning, and I guess, of course, every trader out there would love to have the answer to it. But I just wanted to share my thoughts with you, and I wanted to maybe debate it. So right now, we have a lot going on. We have a global economic slowdown, and that's being addressed. Europe is hitting it a little harder. We know China was in a tremendous bear market last year. I think it was over 25% that they finished down. They had a slowdown in GDP. I think they were expected like 7.2, and it was like 6.9.
There's a podcast talking about if Germany hits like a recession, that means like the EU is going to hit a recession.
Yeah, Germany's one of the largest markets there. A lot of big companies, big players there, and they start to miss out on money, then that's gonna affect their economy, their exports, imports. Europe is so crazy with their EU and their trading. Every country's got different rules, regulations, and it all comes crumbling down because of their political differences and like how this one wants this, but this has to do this. So for like, so we know this slowdown is being addressed. On top of that, we got shit like Brexit.
Brexit's still going on. They still haven't solved that.
The Middle East is always a fucking wild card between Iran and Saudi Arabia, Syria, all that crazy shit that's going on. That's always a wild card. The Fed raised rates, but is holding off. Mr. Trump is working on his trade negotiations, which we all believe are gonna go through.
You gotta put quotations around trade negotiations, right?
Quote, trade negotiations.
Let's keep.
Just like, remember episode 1 of Star Wars started out, they just doing a trade negotiation, a blockade, and they ended up having to kill. Remember? It was little Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Trade negotiations. I don't know. Anyway, my point is,
famous movie quotes with Jason.
There's a lot of negative shit out there that's going on. Like there's a lot more bad news than good news. Like housing's slowing down, consumer staples slowed down. Like
jobs are up. Did you not see the headlines?
See,
jobs are up.
That's what I'm saying. So my question here is, amongst all this shit, what's the bullish case here? And do you have one?
People are just living.
Are we just going with the flow?
I mean, there's going to be a job market that's going to create unemployment. That's going to create some need for that job market. And if there's no need, then I don't know. Overpopulation? I don't know. What do we do? What happens?
What happens? Well, I mean, we always rebound. We always rebound if there's some crazy recession or economic crisis. Eventually, it all sorts out. You just print more money out of thin air, and everything's back to normal, right? Buys us another 8 years till we'll figure it out again.
Map right now, do you call it a recession?
I mean, in my eyes, it's more so than just what's happening in the stock market. It's what's going on
20s
in the world and going on in the country. My biggest indicator would start to be if I saw a lot of unemployment happening. That's my indicator. I mean, a 20% sell-off, we're in a bear market, instant recession. No, I don't know. No. Because we dipped like 19.99% in December. I don't think we were anywhere close to a fucking recession. I think we're a little bit better than we kind of lead on to believe, than the headlines lead on to believe. You've said it yourself the past few years. Like, there's so many now hiring signs that are still out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm in a particular spot now because we just went through a hurricane, so everybody seems to be hiring now.
Well, true, but I mean, even on my neck of the woods,
it was
it's still
constant. People like they needed help because there was more and more demand. It seemed like.
Yeah, there was a there was a Chick-fil-A I saw that posted like the hourly wages of the different jobs that they were hiring for, like right on the board. Like that's how bad that they want people to come in. Like, hey, look how good we are. Come to us. Pretty interesting, but like, what's the good news out there? Like, what's things that can push this market up? Are there any?
I mean, like.
Let's talk this trade deal. Let's talk this trade deal.
Any kind of allies in the foreign market is always good. I mean, anytime you can get someone like on your side, that's like a vote in the world trade. You know, like if I vote for you, we'll give you this kind of trade. I feel like it's a political stunt once you get allies. You can use them as trading chips.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So China is a big trading chip, man.
Oh, absolutely. And from what I hear, they kind of need us more than we need them as of recent. Like they're looking for the trade deal a lot more because we're one of their biggest customers. I'll take that back. We are their biggest customer.
Let's go. So
they want a deal just as well because if we just decide that we're going to cut ties and start to look elsewhere and we're going to pay more for it because we don't give a fuck about you. You know, it's going to have some backlash to it, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to come to some good terms. Like, yeah, we'll give you some deals for a few years. You give us a few deals, and we'll renegotiate this in a decade with the. I don't know. I don't know the exact what's going to happen, but remember, we raise taxes on them. They raise tariffs on us.
Trade war, baby.
Yeah, the trade wars were going, and I think it's all out of friendliness, in my honest opinion. I don't think that there's any hostility behind it. I think it's just China doesn't want to be pushed around, but we definitely don't want to be pushed around anymore, and we're not going to let them get away with it.
Trade wars, baby.
Trade wars. So if that goes through, I mean, how much do you think that's going to actually lift the market? Like, do you think that's going to be the end all be all? Like, we're good now. We're not going into a recession.
This is the perfect level for a fucking tweet. A fucking good news for trade wars. It's the perfect level. Are you kidding me? People just fucking cashed out in November for fucking Christmas money. And now they're ready to just buy back into the market on a good like trade wars tweet. All tariffs cease. And the market is just going to fly, just go crazy. 90%. Double. 100%.
So why are we so convinced that it's going to happen, though? A trade deal is going to happen.
It's not. But, like, if it did. That's what it needs. If you want it to go, like, really good.
What if one doesn't go
you have
through?
a good day. One does go through, like, a good deal.
No, what if one does not go through?
Does not go through? Like a stalemate kind of just keeps fizzling out where it is.
To like, let's just say there's something like, to renegotiate in October.
It's just a
dude, I'm
act between the two countries.
It really is, dude. It really is. And the worst part is at the end of the day, what the stock price does because of that doesn't fucking matter. Because at the end of after everything is said and done, it comes back to that company's earnings, not what Trump's did with China. So yeah, the market is either going to rally or sell off, but eventually it's going to level out. It'll find its stability, and then it'll go quote unquote back to normal. But for us short-term people, this is important shit. For anyone who's looking 1 to 2 years out, this is crucial. This is fucking crucial. But for the crucial. But for those 401kers and IRAers, they I don't think.
So what do you do? What do you do from the tippy top?
What do you mean?
Let's say you're the president,
and a deal does not go through.
Yeah, I mean, like, are you lowering tariffs after that, like giving up?
Like, what's a way to boost the economy other than?
Yeah, like. Cause, I mean, like, tariffs in general, aren't they just going to, like, run us down?
Well, yeah, because at the end of the day, the tariff gets passed to the consumer, not to the company. Company's not going to take on that burden of the extra cost. No, you're going to start paying more for the product. They're not going to fuck with their margins. There's no reason to.
Right.
So, I mean, if he continues to raise tariffs, it's going to...
I mean, do we really, like, can I ask, like, do you want our American companies in China? Is that the deal? I feel like that's, like, the best deal.
Like, just let us come in there.
Yeah, and, like, let's use your people.
Yeah, but they have their shit. They have their banks. They have their...
We don't want, like, we just want, don't we just want the I don't know. Don't you just want the manpower?
I think if they loosened the reins on their...
And the product, I feel like the materials, I want materials and manpower from China.
Like the labor?
Yeah.
I mean, that's basically what we're getting out of there. And we use their lack of child labor laws to extort that.
Oh, my God. I don't mean like that.
Well, I mean, that's what's going on. No, I mean, that's why it's cheap over there. If they just said, hey, we now have a federal minimum wage, we're fucked.
China's such a weird country.
It is weird because there's like kind of slavery there, but at the same time, there's kind of not. And like it's a scary country, but like we're welcome to go there, and they're welcome to come here.
They just passed like the democracy, like or something, whatever democracy they had, just passed that the emperor was going to be there for life.
Oh yeah, well they call him a president, but if you've ever, if you know, yeah, he has the power to just do anything though. Like
I was like, what? You just did what?
There's a lack of checks and balances.
You guys just made him president for life? I was like, don't say that. You guys can't do that.
I think Hitler did something like that.
How did you vote that? Yeah, I was like, what?
I mean, is there like an asterisk, like unless we don't want it anymore? Like, can he get voted out? Like,
I don't understand how that gets voted in.
Well, what if I don't know? I have no idea. I mean,
doesn't that make your mind like it's like say like something is wrong? So you have to have a variable.
Well, it sounds
unless this happened.
I mean, it just sounds very like 1700s. Like, oh, this is the emperor.
It's a very 1700s. It's a very like archaic.
Yeah, it's a very. That's
empire,
what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
It sounds like very like a dynasty would do something like that. Like, oh well, this family rules this region until they relinquish control. Like, I don't. Yeah, like you can just. Why is that? Because I wrote it down, bro. Yeah, it's written down. That's why our family. Yeah, I wrote it down.
Was half full.
Yeah, wrote it down. Yeah, I'm everyone voted.
You wrote it down, man.
Yeah, wrote it down. Yeah, I'm the president for life, dude. It's written right here. Okay.
All voted, dude. You guys all voted. You guys saw it.
Yeah, it's written down.
I just think there's a variable like unless there was corruption.
Well, I kind of believe. I mean? Do you ever believe in that corruption though? Like I invest with the mindset.
Believe it happened?
Oh no, like believe in like the fact that like you want your money there. So, for example, there was a fund I used.
In the corruption.
Yeah. I was gonna say there was a fund I used to trade. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. I want to see what it's been doing. Its symbol is CAF. It's a ETF that owns basically the top 50 biggest companies in China, and I stopped.
Symbol corrupt as shit.
Symbol CA, yeah, corrupt as fuck. So F as in Frank.
Okay, corrupt as fuck.
Yeah. Morgan Stanley China closed-end management investment companies seek capital growth. A shares of Chinese companies listed in Shanghai. So I was trading this one because I was doing it ignorantly with a mindset that, the Chinese government will not let the stock market crash. Like, they will not let the biggest banks and the biggest companies go out of business because, A, they have the ability. They don't have that lack of free enterprise intervention there. Their country will buy stock in companies to keep them afloat and to have control over them. The U.S. government cannot do that. They're not allowed to buy stocks. So because that doesn't exist over there, I
Corrupt as
invested
fuck.
I invested with this in the belief that, well, China's not going to let that happen because they will do everything in their corrupt power to make sure that.
That's a gamble. That's what's called a gamble.
I mean, that was my mindset, and like I said, it did sell off. It got all the way down to 1783. It's back up to 2033. It pays a one-time annual dividend of like 2% all up front every year. But yeah, that was just, do you believe in that invest in the corruption kind of thing? Like, it's like a level of safety.
Right game of corruption. If you're gonna like child slavery, maybe not the best form of corruption to invest in.
Like, don't invest in North Korea.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe like I don't know. Is any corruption good corruption? I mean,
Is there such thing as good corruption?
whatever the business model is, as long as the company makes money, I don't think I have a problem investing in them.
Okay, here's a good example. I forgot the symbol. I was listening to a podcast. Somebody brought up a prison REIT that was yielding 9.6%.
What the fuck?
Could you bring yourself to do that?
What if you got sent to the prisons you owned? The irony.
That would be funny.
Would you own it? I don't know.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? Because that's what I'm thinking. I don't really know.
It's just, I would trade it. I'll do that. I would trade it.
What?
I would I would trade it. I would swing trade it. I'd own it for the dividends. I don't think I would tuck it away in my 10 plus year portfolio to just buy and hold forever. Does that make sense? But it's something I would.
Would you feel guilty?
I'm sure that there are some people in that prison, and I disagree that they're there. Maybe anyone who's in jail for a victimless crime, I'm against. Like if someone, yeah. So I don't. It's hard to justify because I'm sure there's people in there that like, yeah, sure they ruined some lives.
Podcast.
This is great. I'm sure they ruined some lives.
Group ethics.
Sure they did some bad things and ruined some lives, but at the end of the day, all they did was flip a little meth. You know, and there's better ways than just locking them in a cage.
The prison system.
Yeah.
Pays how much of a dividend?
It was like 9.6. Let me see if I can pull up the.
They make more money the more prisoners they get.
I think it was this one, Core Civic CXW. It's $20.36 a share. 15 PE.
Operates as a government solutions company which develops and manages prisons and other correctional facilities. Its services include core civic safety, core civic properties, core civic community, core civic safety provides. It says all that information.
It pays 43 cents a quarter.
CXW, $20 stock, 2036.
And it's paying 43 cents a quarter. Is it?
How does this company make money?
That's what I want to know. But it's never not paid the dividend. Impeccable record. Well,
can we short
here's the thing. These prison companies, they all operate as REITs. So, I'm wondering if it's the land, not necessarily. I'm wondering if that's the core of the money is the land that they put the prison on. So I imagine they're paying rent on that land or to the prison in addition to getting subsidies for the prisoners themselves. I'm not. Now, like I said, I'm ignorant on this, but that's my guess. I'm haven't had the time to look into this. We kind of just jumped into this. What are you thinking?
Just beating earnings.
Dude, crushing them every year or every quarter. Yeah, but it's a REIT, so earnings, are paid out in the dividend, so it's not for growth. So this will never run up on you. This ain't going to double. Like, this is definitely an income stock. But do you buy this dip? It hit all the way up to a fucking, what is that, 35? No, well, I mean, if you go back to 15, I think that's too far for me, but got up to 42. But if you go back to March of 2017, got all the way up to $35. Develops, manages prisons and other correctional services, include core civic properties, corrections, something. Yeah. Real estate, maintenance services, residential reentry. Yeah.
So you're buying it for? I cannot.
Well,
ethically, I cannot say that. Like, I approve. Like, I don't know how they make money.
I think it's the land and the. It's something we gotta look into. Maybe we can do that.
Someone needs to contact us on prisons. How they make money.
You can fucking call them. Have you ever called an investor relations center of a major company?
I've called to like earnings calls.
Oh.
And I've been asked like, "What's your company name?" "Oh, I'm a private investor." I'm like, "Oh," I get all like excited, like I have like billions of dollars in that company or something. Like, no, I probably have like 10 or 12 or maybe 2 shares.
I was just thinking about day trading, you guys.
Thanks.
That's fucking hilarious. No, I've never called them, but they are there to answer questions exactly like that. And that's most big firms, when they're doing their research, that's the first place that they stop. Go directly to the company, and those investor relations people are able to go deep into their files to answer all kinds of questions that you might have about how they got their money, their last reporting, stuff that they have to publicly display, but not that they have to like give to you all the time. Does that make sense? Like, they don't need to tell, like, they have to tell you what the CEO's compensation is, but they don't have to like email it to you once a week. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you might have to go dig for that information. It might not just be online either, because that's something that, like, yeah, they'll report, but they don't have to like announce it to the fucking world. So investor relations would be a good place to kind of get some information on that, if it's something that you're interested in. But like I said, the only moral ethics I have is the fact that there might be people there who are imprisoned of a victimless crime, and I disagree with that.
Victimless crime.
Now, if they're just pieces of shit humans, that's a different story. But I can't confirm that. I can't confirm that everyone there is a piece of shit.
You can't say that.
If it's rapists and shit, sure, I'll take some of the government's money to house them and keep them locked up away from my daughter.
Do you have a daughter?
Fuck no. I'm just saying, potentially. If that motherfucker got out one day. So, anyway, that was.
I don't know if I would invest. I don't know if I just wouldn't touch it. I just say whatever lost is lost, and whatever could have gotten is good for them. Good for you. I don't like the idea.
Yeah, but what about tobacco companies?
Yeah, I would probably invest in tobacco companies. Isn't that like the irony of investing?
Yeah, but that's people's willingness.
Business model. Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, but I don't know.
And plus, those tobacco companies are getting into ventures other than tobacco. Like the
Yeah,
marijuana.
like vapes.
The marijuana and the vapes.
Juul.
I think the tobacco companies are going to be the ones to come out on top of the marijuana thing. Because right now it's all mom and pop places, but once that door opens up federally, that money's going to swoop in. They're going to buy them out, push them off to the side, outdo them, do their distribution channels, and just pump it out into fucking gas stations, Walmart, liquor stores, just anywhere they can get it. If I had to guess, and I'm completely ignorant on this, but if I had to guess, if it became federally legal tomorrow, you would see Philip Morris marijuana products in your gas station in 3 weeks.
3 weeks? I doubt it.
No, I bet.
I feel I would. Let me rephrase. Let me stop myself before I get caught up in my own shit. I hope the marijuana industry is better than that.
Better than that?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I just hope like
That does not happen?
Philip Morris, like I don't know.
Like you just go, no, you just like they're right next to the Marlboro Lights. They're called Marlboro Greens. They're just pre-rolled filtered joints. 20, you get a pack of 20. It's $6, and you got 20 little J's there, and they come in a nice little carton. And it's all fancy and it's wrapped in foil. It's got a little leaf on it.
Altria own?
Altria, well, that's actually a good question.
What cigarettes or what products do they have?
Let me look that up exactly.
Thank you, sir.
Because they did split from Philip Morris. They were in the same company. Trying to find the brands. All right. Basic, Benson & Hedges, Cambridge, Chesterfield, Commanders, Dave's, English Ovals, L&M's, Lark, Marlboro, Merit, Parliaments, Players, Saratoga, and Virginia Slims.
All of the cigarettes.
Pretty much.
Basically.
Well, Marlboro is like one of the big ones. L&M is a knockoff
Huge.
of Marlboro. Parliaments are pretty popular.
Yeah.
Virginia Slims for sure.
Virginia Slims. Your grandma smokes them.
Benson & Hedges. So.
Yeah. Marlboro's a huge one. What other cigarettes are there? I can't. Yeah,
I mean, there's like Cools. There's Camels. Camels is owned by R.J. Reynolds. And Cools. There's other ones out there. Salem's. And then, of course, I don't know who owns them, but there's other companies that create tobacco products, like Swisher Sweets, headquartered here in the beautiful city of Jacksonville, Florida.
Is it really?
Yeah, there's a Swisher factory here. If you look on the next time you go get you a pack, you look on the back, it'll say Swisher International, Jacksonville, Florida, 32206, made in Dominican Republic.
Wow.
Wow.
That's cool.
So, yeah, gun companies, tobacco companies, yes. Healthcare, prisons, no. What are you got anything that you're watching or trading this week, or what you doing?
Oh man.
You want me to bring it on
I'm
first?
watching anything. I have J-Nug. That's all I'm owning right now. So I'm hanging on to triple leverage junior gold miners funds.
It's one of my favorites.
Pumping it into there for now. Just going long on gold.
She's been taking a ride, getting all the way to like 1160. Now she's at 1060.
It's pretty cool. I like it.
Oh, it's one of the best trading vehicles out there that I've ever stumbled upon. Great volume, great.
She's popular.
It
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's one of those stocks that works for me. And then, I've kind of been day trading things here and there the past few days, and then once I get to a sizable position, I'll just lock them up under contract. And JNUG, some beautiful premiums. That's one of the reasons I love that stock. That triple leverage nature of it brings great premiums if you're playing the option prices. But if you're just playing the equity itself, it's great to just buy and sell the shares.
I think JNUG's, I don't know, I'm going to hold it for a long time. I'm going to try to.
I could not disagree with that one. Long gold, I'm about it.
What are you doing, dude?
So I've told you about her. I don't think I've mentioned her on the podcast, and I came across International Game Technologies. You and I, we like to venture and take the occasional and annual gambling trip. And one of the biggest slot machine brands is International Game Technology. And I never knew that they had stock, but if you've noticed, the logo is a little spade and it says IGT in it. And they make most of the slot machines that are out there. They also make and lease them to the casinos. And she sold off massively in the past year. Almost 40%. Yeah, it's paying about a 4% dividend right now. Fell 40% last year. Yeah, it's headquartered in London, but it is 100% traded on our exchange. It's got a good option premiums again. So that's another reason that I've been buying her. But I like the space that she's in. I like the dip that she took. I like the dividend. And so I'm already 100 in, and I've got her under contract, and I've made a little bit of money back from the sell-off in the past week or so, but today she seems to be wanting to bounce off of that. So it's just I thought it was.
Have you ever thought about investing in the ETF or the gaming ETF?
Yeah, I actually used to. I think it's
symbol BJK.
BJK.
Van Eck Vectors Gaming ETF. Stock price $37.33 right now.
As much as I like it, I like the idea of it.
You like the idea
of it? It's too low on volume for my flavor. Like today is only traded 100 shares. It also pays an annual dividend.
What's the percentage?
But I don't know the core holdings on it.
3.5% dividend.
I'm trying to pull up the holdings real quick.
Okay.
Galaxy, Las Vegas, Sands, China, MGM, Win, GLPI, Melco. Yeah, just not a fan of the holdings.
Leisure Properties, that's Boomtown.
Yeah, they're a REIT, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
I like that. I like casinos that operate as REITs. They own Boomtown?
Yeah, I think so.
Come on down to Boomtown.
God, we should have gone to Boomtown. Why didn't we go to Boomtown?
Oh, too many people would have bitched about that one.
God, they serve free soda. You don't have to ask. You can walk up and get a drink. You don't have to wait for the goddamn waitress. You don't have to tip the waitress. They give you a cup. You walk up, get your drink. You thirsty? It might not be alcohol, but you just get your drink faster than the waitress brings it to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jelly bean?
I'm sorry that bugged you. So,
well, no,
yeah.
I mean, like, it bugs me that, like, I order a whiskey straight and it takes 15 minutes, and like,
they do that to keep you there. You got to tip her good.
Sometimes your boy doesn't last 15 minutes on the table. Giggity.
Yeah, you're a 3-minute man. That's your claim to fame.
I'm a 3-bet pump.
That's funny. Yeah, so anyway, I'm watching IGT. I like the dip that she's on. I recommend her as a trade.
Dip, baby, dip.
I like her as a hold. I like the spot that she's in. And I'm familiar with the product, unfortunately. So, she also makes lottery systems. I thought that was interesting.
What is that? I'm sorry.
Lottery systems, like the balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
They make the balls.
They make the balls.
They make the balls.
The white balls. Balls.
All right. Well, yeah, I think we had an epic-sode.
Ethics.
Epic-sode.
Ethics. What do you call it? Epics.
Epic-sode, because it was pretty epic. We got into shit, man. We talked
Trump. Call it
Trump.
Epic Ethics with Rebel Trading Group.
RTG Group Podcast.
Ethics.
The Ethics Cast? Was that the focus of this conversation?
Epic. Yeah, they've had a lot of ethics. Companies like, do you invest in like companies that are corrupt? Yeah.
Okay.
That's a big
Investing in the corruption. Okay, I like that idea.
Is that a sode? Is that a sode?
I think it's a sode, man.
Are we back?
We're back. It's February. Let's get back to it. Holidays are over.
Let's get it. Let's get
Holidays are over. Even though my neighbor has
Thanks
not
for
taken down her light.
Let's go. Have a good one, everybody.
I love you.
Happy trading.
Shut up and sit down.